No, you did not read the title or thumbnail wrong. I actually went to Disney for less than $200 and here's how I did it. So first things first, I have to tell you guys that this is about a day trip because obviously I don't think that it's even possible to do this for, multiple days for this exact price. And honestly, doing a day trip for less than $200 is already a miracle in and of itself. So yeah, we're talking about a day trip here. But regardless of whether you're going for a day trip or for a week or multiple weeks or whatever kind of Disney trip you're planning, I'm still going to be sharing with you all of my money saving tips for trip planning when it comes to going to Walt Disney World. And if you're new here and you don't know who I am, hello, my name is Taylor and welcome to my tower. I just recently got back from a day trip where I went to Animal Kingdom to ride my favorite ride, Dinosaur, one last time. So if you haven't seen that vlog, I'll go ahead and have it linked down below and you can check that out after this. But I did do this day trip for less than $200 out of my own pocket, so of course I wanted to share my money saving tips with you guys. And step one, which is going to be the most varying price, is going to be your flights. If you're able to be flexible with the date, you can really save a lot. So my specific reason for going on this trip was obviously to ride Dinosaur, which officially closed on February 1st, RIP. So for me, I started planning this about 3 months or 2 months out. I started planning this in mid-November, and I knew for sure I didn't want to go in November or December just because it is holiday time at Disney World. Flights are more expensive, and obviously February was really off the table because I was not going on closing day because I knew it was going to be so busy. So January was the month that I was aiming for. So I personally recommend going to the parks between New Year's and like spring break time just because of the really nice weather, low crowds, and obviously cheaper flights. So what I personally do when I am looking for cheap flights is to just look at the entire month that I'm looking to go. So I checked from January 1st to January 31st, and I looked on Skyscanner and Google Flights, and they will both give you like a month overview where you could see whether it is green, yellow, or red in terms of, cheap, moderate, and expensive pricing. So I personally found that Monday, January 26th was going to be our cheapest option. So that is what we went ahead and booked. You can actually go to the airport. So I know for both airports that I typically fly out of, which is Philadelphia and Atlantic City, New Jersey, you can go to the airport and actually buy the tickets there for a significantly cheaper price. So for me, with my specific airport, I found that I've saved at least $20 per person every time I go to the airport. But for this trip specifically, I did book through Spirit's app because they were running a promotion, and I also just didn't have time to get to the airport during the promotion, so I just went ahead and booked online. And our flights per person were $97. And because this is only a day trip, I didn't have to pay for any carry-on or checked baggage. So there's 2 expenses of the flight that I just didn't have to worry about, which was great. And here's just another tip for when you are looking at flights. This is pretty much common sense, I think, but just in case you didn't know, definitely look through flights in private mode on your phone or through incognito mode on your computer. That way the airlines can't track you actually shopping the flights. That way if you don't purchase at that time and you come back later, they will hike up the prices if they see that you're looking at the flights. So definitely make sure that you browse in private mode or incognito mode. So like I said, I picked Monday, January 26th because that was the cheapest date to fly for the entire month of January. And so like I said, our round trip total was $97 per person after tax, which is a great deal, which is why I was able to even make this trip happen in the first place. And so that first expense came out in November because that is when I started looking, that is when I booked our flights, and then, that was all I paid for in November. And then December is my birthday month as well as Christmas, so I took full advantage of that for both my park tickets and my spending money, but we'll get to that in a second. So step 2 in this planning process is to save money on your park tickets. So as far as park tickets go, there are multiple ways that you can save money for discounted tickets, which we'll get to in a second. But one way to make it free essentially is if you have an annual pass. So if you live out of state, the cheapest annual pass option I believe is like $1,600. So of course you're going to be paying that off over time, or if you pay that out in a lump sum right off the bat. But if you do have an annual pass, obviously that is going to help you with discounts not only in the parks, but obviously it would save you money in terms of purchasing actual park tickets for a day trip. Now there's multiple ways that you can get discounted tickets. You can get them through Undercover Tourist, which is one of my personal favorite websites to get Disney tickets from. You can get them from the actual Walt Disney World website, obviously, and sometimes they do run promotions, so you can keep your eye out for that. Or if you're like me and you have a friend who is a military wife, you can take full advantage of that. And that is exactly what I did because my friend Hannah, who came on this trip with me, is a military wife. And we found that the tickets through her military base were $144 as opposed to the Undercover Tourist and Walt Disney World websites being the same price at around $175 to $180. So the only thing when it comes to purchasing military tickets is that person has to come on that trip with you. So if you have a friend who is in the military or is a military spouse and you want to do a Disney trip with them, that is a great way to save money. So we ended up saving roughly, $40, which is great. And so my ticket was $144, which was already a great discount. But I decided to take it a step further and ask my boyfriend to get me the ticket as a Christmas gift because he needed Christmas gift ideas for me. I knew I wanted to do a day trip, so I said, you know what if you just paid for my park ticket as one of my Christmas gifts? And so that is what he did. So I'm so thankful that I was actually able to get my park ticket essentially for free. And the reason that I'm telling you guys this, even though this is very situational to me, is so that way you can plan in the future and potentially take advantage of birthday and Christmas gift opportunities for yourself as well. Or even like I'm filming this video on Valentine's Day, that could be a good Valentine's gift, or you know, an anniversary gift between you and your spouse or your partner or whatever. I just think taking advantage of like gifted opportunities when it comes to planning Disney trips is always a great idea, which leads us into our next step, which is our spending money. I was in multiple Pollyannas and I decided to, you know, tell my gift givers, is that what they're called? Secret Santas, whatever. I told them to strictly only give Disney gift cards as my gift idea because I just didn't want to give them any more ideas than what I truly wanted, which was Disney gift cards. So in total, between my birthday and the Pollyannas, as well as just regular Christmas gifts, I was able to receive $225 in Disney gift cards, which I am so thankful for. But if you are not banking on Christmas, birthday, or anniversary presents for yourself, then here are some ways you can save money when it comes to Disney gift cards. So if you have either the Target credit or debit card, you're actually able to save 5% on Disney gift cards through Target's website or in store. So what I typically do for my week-long trips is I will actually go on Target's website and I will get the $500 gift card. And because you're saving 5%, that brings your total down to $475. And then I will just use that as like my allowance for, you know, the 4 or 5, maybe upwards of like 7 days that I'm there. But for a day trip, my budget was only going to be what I received in gift cards for my food and souvenirs. So I just wasn't sure what my budget was going to be until after Christmas. And luckily, a $225 budget was honestly more than enough. I think if you can budget $200, I think that that is perfect. So what that covered for me was my Mr. Kamal's fries when I got there, my Starbucks refresher, my lunch at Restaurantosaurus, and I think that was everything I spent food-wise. And then as far as my souvenirs, I picked up this crew neck, which I am so obsessed with. I honestly don't know how much this was because I was just swiping my gift cards and I didn't really care, which was such a nice experience. But I think this was like $65. I am honestly not quite sure, but I did also buy one mystery pin pack as well as 3 open edition pins, and that was it as far as all the money that I spent. And I still have $30 left over from my trip. So yeah, roughly $200 covered my food, my sweatshirt, and 3 open edition pins and my mystery pin pack. So a total of 5 pins, which is honestly really great. And I do think that $200 is a perfect amount of money to set aside for every single day of your Disney trip. And you just have to remember that that will not include any sort of sit down dining because I only did quick service and like snacks throughout the day. But if you wanted to invest more in, you know, your food experience, you could spend less on your souvenirs, or if you care more about souvenirs, you could spend less on food, and you know, vice versa. And then the final step with planning this process was our transportation to and from the airport. So I personally have a Chase travel credit card, which is absolutely amazing and has so many perks. If you're wondering about it, I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The annual fee is absolutely astronomical, so don't get it if you really don't travel that often, but it does have a lot of really good perks, and one of those is saving money through Lyft. So I believe I got, it was either 5% or like $15. I don't know. It was something with a 5. I honestly should have just like screen recorded the process of booking the Lyft. So it was $90 total for both trips. So that includes from MCO to Animal Kingdom and from Animal Kingdom back to MCO at the end of the day. And because the total was $90, I was with 3 friends, split that 3 ways. That comes out to $30 a person, which is really not bad for transportation. So my money saving tips as far as transportation are to definitely travel with as many people as you can. I personally always love traveling with more people. I just love creating more memories with more of my friends. So as many people as you can gather to go. I wouldn't say more than 4, just because like riding rides can be a little bit difficult with a huge group, and obviously trying to get everything done with a huge group in one day, you know, just roughly 8 hours in the park can be a little bit overwhelming. So I would say go with a maximum of 4 people, and then you can go ahead and split the cost within your party for the ride share and then save a bunch of money that way too. Also, you could split the airport parking fees, tolls, gas on the way to the airport. You know, anything that you guys do as a group in terms of transportation can be split amongst your group, which definitely really helps. So my tips as far as transportation goes is definitely to split the cost with multiple people if you can. Take advantage of a travel credit card if you have one, because I know mine personally offers a discount through Lyft, so that is the transportation option that we chose. There is also, you know, Mears Connect, but that has multiple stops along the way. I know that it's only like roughly $12 the last time I looked into that, but I personally would not recommend that for a day trip just because you're going to lose a lot of time. And I personally have found that Lyft is the cheapest option both with and without my credit card. You can also obviously use Uber, but yeah, I found that Lyft is definitely the best option when it comes to transportation. But yeah, those are all of my money saving tips for when it comes to planning a day trip to Disney. And if you're interested in more money saving tips, I did do an entire video breaking down all of my money saving tips as far as visiting Disney World, so I'll go ahead and have that video linked down below. If there's any other money saving tips that I missed in this video, please go ahead and comment them down below so that way other people who check out this video can see those those as well. And if you have any other questions for me as far as day trips go, please go ahead and comment them down below because I want everybody to be able to experience the fun that is a day trip to Disney World, and I'm more than happy to help you try to plan that. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up because it helps other people to find my channel. And be sure to subscribe so you can see my future videos, and I will see you real soon. Bye!